Okay, so the triangle is from the roof of a sort of a porch that was there. There was a place where you could drive trucks into the building, which they did. It was there until after the museum opened, and it was for storage of the electrical company that used to own the building, electrical utility, which was Central Vermont Public Service then, and the same company is now called Green Mountain Power. The electrical utilities had this building since 1898. There was another one before Vermont Public Service, Central Vermont Public Service. Yeah, it was just, I think it was called Windsor Electric. At the time when that drive-in was there, the ground at the above the foundation, the ground was a couple of feet higher than it is now. And I'm not sure exactly how it came to be that way, at least a couple feet, maybe as many as 3. For instance, the door in the pedestrian door in the stair tower there was very near the ground in those days. So we got the stack of 4 doors in the stair tower there. Those came into being during the cotton mill era. They weren't, that stair tower was not there during the Civil War, which is just before the cotton mill era. Cotton mill era started in 1869 or 1870, and cotton mill ended in 1886 when they sold out and moved away. This was the apartment. This is from the electric company era again, and it's alleged that the person who kept track of the electrical equipment overnight lived there. I'm not sure if that's true or not. The person I talked to was related to it, came and visited us. He was an older man, like in his 80s, maybe even 90. His father was an executive of some sort with Central Vermont Public Service, and so they had this just as a place to live because it was cheap. They could save money by living here.
So did they have a fire escape to get out?
That was not a fire escape. It would have been a fire escape, usable as a fire escape, but there was a screen porch there. You can still see the outline of the screen porch, which is to the left of the door, and so on. With the lighting we've got now, you can't see it very well, but there was a stairway going down to the right. There was an apartment there. There was 4 rooms at least in the 1940s is when his family lived there, and I believe they were the last group to live in there. The stone lintel down in the corner there, that was where there was a loading dock, and I've inferred this from the 1849 etching. You can see a wagon being loaded or unloaded there at that place, and I realized, oh, these two things go together. So it's great to have such an experience. Yeah. The opening day picture is taken from up on the bank behind us, and that it doesn't give that corner opening at all, but it does give. You can see the screen porch, and you can see this drive-in porch. While we're here, though, so we're right in the center of the building. If you look up, you can see the tower. So the place is right in the center, and just below the 3rd floor windows, you can see there's a blackened bricks and then some brightly, light bricks. What that's part of is a fire escape, and the moorings for it are you can see where they were moored in the attic, and but it came down. There was a platform at that level, just below the 3rd floor windows, and then you can see where below the 2nd floor windows, you can see a couple of studs where the ladder was attached to the wall.
See it?
Oh yes, and then there's our plaque there. This is great. It has the same text as one on the front of the building, except the date on it on this one is 2 years later. And Ed Battison, our founder, told me that the reason this is that I'm trying to remember which the presidential, anyways, it was a Democratic presidential candidate wanted to have a photo op, and so had the plaque put up, but the photo op never happened. But we got to keep the plaque, even if it's confusing.
I like how the bricks are zigzag.
Yeah. The bricks are zigzag there. I believe that's called bird's head. The ornamenting is bird's head, and the fact that it steps out from the wall instead of going straight up into the roof is called corbelling.
All right.
It's a corbelled wall.
Oh, while we're looking up,
Yes.
it's gold-plated weather vane.
No, it is gold-leafed weather vane. It's fiberglass, and it has gold leaf on it. Apparently they painted it first, and the paint did not respond well to the weather, so they got it gold leafed. And a tree service put it up for us.
Do you remember when that was?
I beg your pardon?
When did that happen? You know?
In the 70s, I believe. Battison said that he got the gun made out of fiberglass by a body shop in Washington, D.C., because Battison was working in Washington, D.C. at Smithsonian Institution. So we have lots of interesting things here if you're interested. One thing is, of course, this big ring here that everybody's interested in to one extent or another. That is the rim of a flywheel of an 1849 steam engine. Woodruff and Beach steam engine. And we have the steam engine, but this thing being 10 feet in diameter was not easy to transport. It couldn't be over 13 feet in the air, and the kind of trucking they had to haul it wasn't going to work out. And they were going to have to get permits and stuff, and nobody wanted to do that, so it stayed here. We still have it, but not here. Okay, so the two big doors, of course, are things that we can move stuff in and out of. The lower one goes onto our exhibit floor directly, and then we skip the second floor, and on the third floor we have an electric hoist. We can manage something up to, a bit over a ton without any fuss at all. It's not a real sophisticated one. It's kind of much sometimes, but it works okay. So we look at the whitewash here, and you can see all sorts of things if you start studying it on from the upper door on the left, going down from the left. You see there's a couple of slanted lines. These have to do with the first roof that was on there. It was on there until after the Civil War, or around the end of the Civil War. And then they put a higher roof on, which made the horizontal whitewash lines on the wall.
For a building that's no longer there?
Yes. Okay, yeah, so very early on, before 1849, they had built the addition on it, but then they put that third story on it after the Civil War. And again, that was the cotton mill era. If you look over here on the right, we have an existing window in the stair tower up there at the top on the 4th floor level. But down on the 3rd floor level, there is one that's been filled in. And one of the things this implies is that the stair tower was built with that 3rd floor window in place before they put the 3rd story on, which I thought was an interesting little feature. You don't, one of those little things you don't get all the time. That whole stair tower was put in there after the Civil War. Yeah.
How did they get up there before then?
There are some stairs inside, or I mean, there are places where the stairs were inside.
Okay, yeah.
Right where the restrooms are now, at the front of the exhibit floor. I'm pretty sure that went from 1st to 2nd and to 3rd floor, and I think that the from 3rd to attic was down at this end where the elevator is now. One thing that's kind of funny back here is that you see the pedestrian door over on the left. Right above it there's a shiny thing. What that shiny thing is it's a brick movement gauge, and the way it's made is you have basically 2 little lattices, one on each of 2 pieces of plastic, and you glue this thing on with epoxy on either one half on either side of a crack. I guess it's a crack monitor. Yes, crack monitor is the proper name, and so you can monitor the movement of the crack. But the doggone thing was not made very well, and the little red line that was supposed to give an indication of things bleached in the sun. And there it is way up there, 30 feet up or 25 feet up in the air, and there's no way we could replace that with the kind of equipment we've got. Yeah. I guess that pretty much covers what we need to talk about here.